Let's go down to Francis Leach on the boundary.
Corey McKernan looked like a very sad man walking across the ground there at half-time of the track, so it doesn't look like he'll resume. The Blues have never gone through a season without winning a game here at Princes Park. They've only got one more after this against Port Adelaide, so today's a chance for a club mindful of its history to want to win this one.
Thanks, Francis. And West Coast have led 6 times at half-time this season and won 6 games.
I can tell you, Matthew, it's a perilous task walking across the ground with all those footies. The osteitis pubis was nearly destroyed, Tony.
Thanks, Robbo. Cox, the start of this second quarter, but quickly out of the centre once again was Carlton. The kick came from Camporelli. Wooden really finding a niche for himself this season down back. Out in front of Judd. He'll back himself to run. Straight past Hickmott. Couple of bounces. Said during the interview the thing he hates the most is he has to bounce the ball. He'd love to just run forever. Lynch was the target. Embley the crummer. Back to big Quinton Lynch. Second shot at goal. This one won't make the distance. Pack forming. Punch from McKay. Double fist.
I mentioned Troy Wilson before. Quinton Lynch, he looks very similar to the way he attacks the ball. Mightn't be as quick off the mark, but gee, he's a strong player. Chris Judd's had 5 possessions. The West Coast Eagles need him to have a bit more impact in this second half.
Not many 19-year-olds running around at 104 kilos. Here's Fletcher. Into his path came Hickmott. Carlton made a bit of a meal of it. Fletcher got it back. Kerr was there first. Cousins. So much time. Then around the body, but it should suit Carlton. It does. Getting the way Wiggins. He has Camporelli. A couple of players have gone to ground. A little bit dewy there. With the shade now coming. Lack of communication, but it ends up with Colica. Back to Cousins once again. So both Camporelli and he starting well in this third quarter. That's a good stretch from Miranda. Outside his 50. Has a player in the middle. Cox, the call from Banfield. Natural left footer. High ball. Catch that if you can. Huge pack to form. Nita Specky over the top with a big punch came McKay. Towards Franchina. He's going to be run down beautifully by Philip Matera. Still working hard, Matera. Bradley with the experience forcing it over the line. It'll be a boundary throw in.
Well, I thought Franchina took 2 or 3 steps here. This should have been dropping the ball. Good tackle by Phil Matera. He's not just a dangerous goal kicker, but the way that he keeps the ball in their forward 50, I thought that had to be dropping the ball, Robbo.
I agree with you, Tony. Had every possible chance. Merrington from behind. McKay the tackler. Ball knocked forward for the Eagles by Embley. Chance at goal. Kick coming in from Wapunda and misses off to the right-hand side. So the margin now is 5 points in favour of the Eagles. The first score of the third term kicked by David Wapunda and Scott Camporelli to do the duties for the Blues after that resultant behind. Just a magnificent day in Melbourne. The sun still shining brightly, and the stands, the social club stand and the Heatley stand, bringing in the shade, which I'm sure the players will appreciate. Thornton and Ratton combine. Kick by Ratton. McIntosh, gee whiz, he had a fair bit of that football, then applied the tackle on Beaumont. Great to see Ashley McIntosh. He's one of those players that never remonstrates, never argues, just gets on with the game, and I'm sure it conserves a bit of energy in the final analysis.
And I think that Carlton would like him playing across centre-half back. They've got Jakovic against Whitnell now in the goal square.
McIntosh and Beaumont. Ball spilling now out wide for Lappin. He gets a little bit of space, kicks the ball high towards half forward. It may bounce just inside. No, it hasn't. It's floated over on the full, so the free kick for the Eagles to be taken back there by Josh Wooden.
Wooden, short. Kerr has a bit of space to run into. Gets underneath the ball a bit. Oh, gee, almost a good mark there to Gasper. Pack forms right on the forward 50. West Coast keep it alive. Embley. Little one over the top. Haynes. High ball.
The goal.
Jeez, kicked the goal. Adam Hunter it was, not Haynes. Out of nowhere. He doesn't kick a lot of goals. Adam Hunter, just his second for the year. And they kept it alive, didn't they?
Yeah, under enormous pressure. Colica then a handball over the top. He looked like he shoved it over the top. Merrington maybe should have gone to smother on the boot instead of the tackle. But that's a great kick off a couple of steps around his body from about 45 metres.
Well, the runabout people will be happy with you, Matthew. You got them both involved there, Haynes and Hunter. The Haynes-Hunter runabout.
Beautifully done, Robbo.
So goal kick to the for the West Coast Eagles by Adam Hunter. David Haynes has kicked a goal. He kicked one in the second term. That's Cox on screen, contesting this centre bounce. Merrington, his opponent. Cox got first hand to it, taken away by Cousins. Shares it with Wooden. Wooden's kick is not too bad, but a good mark taken by During. The ball coming in quite fiercely there, and he took it in front of his face very nicely. Hickmott chipped in front of Fletcher. Then Hickmott goes short. Oh, good punch by McIntosh. Tremendous defensive work there by Ashley McIntosh. Punches the ball clear for a boundary throw-in.
I don't know whether Simon Beaumont should nearly try and play as a decoy centre-half forward. Ashley McIntosh seems to be on his game. I like him up at half-back, that you'd think you could run Ashley McIntosh around, but if you're on that side of the ground, maybe go to the centre corridor.
Merrington doing the ruck work. In there was Bradley. McIntosh as well. The ball spills down for Beaumont. He can't get past the Wooden tackle. And he's taken the ground, and Wooden would be fairly satisfied with that effort. Not giving away a free kick, effective tackle, and forces a bounce. On centre wing, maybe just a few metres in favour of the centre wing area for Carlton. 8-9 to 6-9. 12 points the margin. Merrington, not a bad little tap, but not much room there for Ratton and Fletcher. That's Fletcher for the Eagles. Chad Fletcher and Simon Fletcher, of course, for the Blues.
Gee, both clubs, you look with Michael Gardner out for West Coast. Dean Cox has had to do the ruck work. Every game you play is worth about 4 or 5, Robbo, so both him and Merrington are getting a lot of experience for their teams.
Cousins goes back, not a good handball. Mansfield's got to beat 2. Just does. Kick around the body. Whitnell out in front, slaps it back. Hickmott over the top. The handball is clever. Camberelli just needs to straighten up and hits the post. Great defensive effort by Ashley McIntosh to get there just in time. Just a marvellous effort by Ashley McIntosh to put the pressure on Camberelli. He's hit the post. The third time they've hit the post so far today. Saved a certain goal as the two veterans in McIntosh and Matera swapped the ball a couple of times, and then wide out to Cox, who made some good ground. He'll give straight away to Fletcher. He has Kerr running for him on the wing. Ball needs to stay in for him though. It's a kind bounce. Kerr waiting for all sorts of support. Goes back in the middle. Josh Wooden. 11 points the margin. Each quarter, the West Coast have started the better, then Carlton have come back in the latter half. Colliker out in front of Matera again with a little feint. Gets the mark, off one step, bangs it towards the goals. Wirapunda can't, or Miranda, sorry, I should say, gets back just the behind. So the kick from Philip Matera brings the margin back to 12 points.
Josh Wooden doing pretty well. He's had 13 possessions. Tagging Craig Bradley, manning up, whatever you like to call it. Bradley's had 8 possessions. Philip Matera on screen as we watch Scott Camperelli prepare to bring it back. 12 points the margin. Camperelli goes short, not bad. Davies is marked. Oh, Franchina lifted behind. In goes Miranda, kick off the ground. Pressure on now. Gee, Wiggins is in there. Over the top was Miranda appealing for the free kick. Blues a bit fortunate there. Just a matter of 20 metres from their goal. Young Davies, a look-away handball. I think just going to play it down the line. Here's Matera. You're right, Matty. The way that he feigned like he's going to go straight at the ball meant Franchina would stay on the same line. A contest there right on the goal line. Sees a rush behind. Brett Ratton in the picture with, I think it may have been David Wirapunda, and forces that behind for the Eagles. Camperelli being worked overtime here in the early part of the third quarter. 3 behinds have been kicked. Short kick is all right. Hickmott takes the mark. Looks to play on. Goes out wide to Fletcher. Fletcher looking down the ground. He must go short back towards the middle of the ground, you would think. He does. It's Ratton. Handball over the top by Ratton. Hickmott can go wide to Camperelli. Camperelli's in the middle of the ground now. He looks for Lappin, goes past that player, kicks in the direction of Whitnell. Good punch by Jakovic. Whitnell provides a contest. Now at ground level, the better athleticism there by Wooden. Gathers the ball and then gets it off to Jakovic. He goes out wide. This is Jones. G. Cousins in a spot of bother. May have injured his ankle. The kick to the half-forward area. Punched away by Wiggins. Contest, Miranda got his left foot to it. Thornton and Hickmott. Strong play by Hickmott. Got the ball back to Thornton. Thornton looks down the ground, kicks it to a one-on-one and kicks it poorly. Kicks it out of bounds on the full as we watch Ben Cousins trying to recover from the ankle, and he was confronted by Chris Judd there. A little awkward. Judd beckoning towards the skipper that it was purely accidental. This is Hunter with the football for the West Coast Eagles. He's wide at left half forward, kicks the ball in towards half forward. It slips through the players. Lynch's hand pass, a little too fierce. A contest on the bottom of the pack. Gaspar, a real good contest provided by the Blues defenders. They could see the position there. It was pretty desperate, and they were able to hold it up. Eagles by 13 points, and we're 13 minutes into the quarter.
And Ben Cousins has gone to full forward, I think, just to see whether he can run in the next couple of minutes, or else West Coast Eagles, there he is there. Doesn't look good. He's hunched over like that, but just a couple of minutes to see if he can get running again.
Gasper's certainly trying to. Miranda, little give over the top. Getting in the way Wiggins, but Big Lynch got it first, back towards a goal square, disciplined kick. Good mark to Doring. I thought for a second that Cousins could have been a magnificent move to just stop there and take a mark, but Doring was the equal to it, and he got it to Fletcher. Simon Fletcher. Hickbot, back to Thornton. There is Hickbot with some space. And speaking of space, Wiggins has got space. And Bradley's running. Robbo's calling it beautifully here. What's he going to do next, Robbo? Bradley gets around though, spots a player laterally, has to be a good kick, it is. And Merrington with safe hands. So Andrew Merrington, as Tony mentioned, has been very good in the first half. He's had 13 possessions. He's having to do it all in the ruck, but well spotted by Craig Bradley.
Well, Josh Wooden's done his job on Bradley. He's had 14 possessions, but Craig Bradley's had 9. The one thing about it, if he gets it outside 50, though, Craig Bradley, without pressure, he will find someone inside 50 to have a shot on goal.
He's already got a goal, Merrington. As you can see, Adrian Hickmont's been very busy. He'll kick from 50. Distance is pretty good. So is the accuracy. Second goal to Merrington. They're first for the third quarter, and they stay in touch with the Eagles. The margin's 7 points.
Well, he's been very impressive, Andrew Merrington, today. Just had a fair bit of the ball. He's had 14 possessions, but just his ruck work, and as I said at half-time, the way that he pushed forward a couple of times makes you very dangerous. If you just want to sit the kick behind play, it's easy to play against a player like that, but a ruckman, and that was from outside 50, a great conversion.
Well, all I can say is he kicks the ball better than his old man. His old man, Gary, played quite a bit of football with the Bulldogs and is doing some work off the field for the West Coast Eagles after doing a bit of that with the Bulldogs. The ball at the half forward, McKay overruns it. Miranda, here's a chance for Kerr. Hand pass, puts the pressure on Judd. Still Judd, got the hand pass away. The Blues working overtime at half back. Judd's got the football, but they're in all over the top of him. And about 6 of them there has forced the umpire to award the free kick against Chris Judd and goes to Fletcher. Doering breaks from half back. The bounce is in his favour. Will he outrun? He might outbustle David Wirapunda. No, Wirapunda keeps his footing. He'll get back and gather the ball. Shrugs the McKay tackle. Gets the running support from Hunter. Hunter goes down towards the half-forward line. Punched away. Good, strong play provided by Wiggins. A contest. Wiggins is in there. In goes Davies. Wiggins to Hickmott. Hickmott to Doering. Oh, it's a hot footy. Camporelli. Handball over the top. Chance there for Lappin. The Blues making a surge. They trail by 7 and Ratton, the skipper's got the football at half forward. Gets past. Sets up Lappin. Bounce favours Matthew Lappin. He'll go for goal. He kicks this. No, he doesn't. It rolls through from behind. 6 points the margin. First score of this game to Matthew Lappin. But he has worked very hard across the half-forward line and further down the ground for the Blues.
It's a carbon copy of the first 2 quarters. You said it, Matty. They might as well start playing at the 12-minute mark, Carlton. Just come on the ground then, because West Coast Eagles had a great start in each quarter, and Carlton just finished off the quarters better. I don't think it's fitness. I think it's just a mentality thing. They've got to get into the game a bit quicker.
17 possessions to Lappin.
6 points to margin. McIntosh. This is where Carlton have been good at just spoiling back. Once again, it was Merrington. Hickmont got it to Lappin, number 18. High ball should suit the West Coast, though. Out comes McIntosh. Ratton did enough to bring it to ground. Campbell round the body. High ball is going to suit Favola on the chest. He's got to play it loose. Beaumont wants it. Standing on his own, 25 metres out. Simon Beaumont has marked.
Sometimes the football's about percentages. Now, what's the better percentage? Favola from 45 or Simon Beaumont, who not a renowned goal kicker, from a little bit more of an angle and probably 10 yards closer, 15 yards closer. I think Favola, but still, hopefully he can convert here.
And Beaumont with his left foot
across the goal.
So for Tony Shaw, this is Simon Beaumont's kick. Straight through the middle. Simon Beaumont gets his second. Terrific stuff by Carlton. They're back to within, well, the score's a level. And if you want to know more about the real issues in AFL football, catch the experts on the couch on Monday nights. And perhaps they're talking about the option that Brendan Favola took then, Tony.
You know, one of the good things about that show is that it's on at 8:30 and every kid can watch it. And it's very, very informative programming with Gerard Healy and company.
Robert Walls and Mike Sheehan joining in.
Well, Beaumont giving the Blues an opportunity to kick a winning score here. He's kicked 2, Merrington has kicked 2, Camporelli has kicked 2, Whitnell has kicked 1. So they've got someone up there besides Big Red to kick the ball to. Judd tried to crash through. Hickmott trying to provide some guard there for Merrington, rather for Hickmott. Succeeds. Camporelli running down. Here's a chance now for Campbell. Kick is a little bit too high there for Beaumont. Back go the Eagles. Under pressure at half forward. Favola comes out from full forward, provides a contest on Wooden and forces a boundary throw in, much to the delight of the Blues fans down there in the left forward pocket.
Blake Campbell, 10 possessions here. I don't know how tall he is, Robert, but he knows where to get the ball, and he used a good left foot kick too on that occasion. I think the sun was in Beaumont's eyes coming forward.
Reminds me a little bit of Adrian Whitehead, whose career was cut short through an injury, which was bad luck for Whitehead, a premiership player. Now Cousins. McIntosh, oh, good chasing! Terrific chasing by Camporelli. He's kept it alive. Favola off the ground has missed. Scores are behind.
He has done it all today, Scott Camporelli. Not an area of his game which he is well known for, tackling or the defensive side of the game, but gee, great effort. Kicked a couple of goals, had 17, 18 possessions, but the coach would love to see that happening.
Short kick in taken by Jakovic. Blues now lead. You would think probably for the first time in the game, maybe early on, they may have led the game, but it was for only a short period of time. Kerr tackled by Ratton. Ball spills to Cox. Out wide. Hunter kicks the ball in towards half forward. Peter Matera falls over. Plays it brilliantly. He'll kick a goal, won't he? No, he won't. He'll kick it off the side of his boot. And he has scored a behind. Who will ever forget Peter Matera? In that 1992 Premiership victory, kicked 5 goals from the wing. The only person who wants to forget it is Mark Bairstow.
Scores a level here at Optus. 60 apiece. One stage during that second quarter, West Coast led by 4 goals. Cox with the punch back. Franchina couldn't quite take it cleanly. Fletcher. Off the ground, Fletcher. It was Chad Fletcher, got it to Cox, to Miranda, back to Wooden. This is the captain in Cousins. Spots about 3 Eagles in the corner of his eye, and one of them is Philip Matera. He plays on, he's inside 50. The pass in towards the forward line. Over the back it falls. Chance for Wirapunda, but not to be.
Well, it's going to be some anxious moments, isn't it, today for the Blues supporters? I mean, if they're going to win this game, you can see it's going to be pretty close again.
Yes, they were heartbroken last week. Andy McKay said during the week that it was one of the most heartbreaking experiences he's ever experienced in footy. Fletcher, Livingston to clear, does enough.
It just could come down to some individual brilliance in the last quarter. David Wirapunda hasn't had a major impact on the goal scoring. Matthew Lappin's had a lot of the ball, but he hasn't kicked a goal yet. If they get those 2 players or some individual brilliance, might just be the difference in this game.
Someone like Philip Matera, who we just saw.
Multiple goals very quickly.
Hickmott enjoying a good third quarter. McKay wants the boundary line. Successful.
Both sides have had bonuses though with their youngsters today. They've all stood up, especially a lot of them playing in the back half where you know the pressure's on, and they've done very well.
Cox to do battle against Merrington. Cox wanted Cousins, Williams, can't break the tackle. Thornton gets the free kick for a throw. So Thornton switches to a long lead from Whitnell. All the way up on the wing, takes a strong mark.
Gee, they've been few and far between too, haven't they? Marks for Lance Whitnell. That was a good one. Kicks the ball into the middle of the ground. Merrington jumped early and kept his opponent out of the contest. That fan was very appreciative of Andrew Merrington's performance there. Looking, searching. Anyone there? Yes. Out wide, it's Plunkett. 8-12 apiece. And 7 minutes left in the term. Plunkett not prepared to cough it up. Goes short. Mark taken by McKay. I believe he was inducted into the Hall of Fame here at Carlton today. And a great achievement. That was Thornton. Now Doering. Doering, good. Oh, Fletcher. A little bit of a misunderstanding between he and Hickmott. Handball over the top. The turnover could be costly. Mirinda goes for and finds Philip Matera away from Franchina. Philip Matera is wide at half forward. The running player in support wide is Williams. He ignores that. He'll go short. He'll kick it too high. The defence of the Blues getting back. McKay. By gee, wasn't he terrific? He took the mark at left half forward a few moments ago. He goes out wide. Merrington coming off to have a rest. We see Plunkett on his own out there with acres to spare. Goes in short. Looks for Lappin. Goes past he and his opponent, who on that occasion was Colliker. And it goes over for a boundary throw in. Mansfield, Merrington, two of the players presently on the bench for the Blues.
Just on that kick, Tony, he had a lot of space there, Plunkett, and kicked to a lead deep into the pocket. I mean, really should have opened up somewhere into the forward 50.
You've got to keep possession and just carry the ball a little bit more without pressure.
Comes to Bradley. Carlton getting plenty of possession. This man is getting all of it. Possession number 25 at Camperelli. Not one he would write home about. It falls in the arms of Darren Glass. The switch to McIntosh. Not a lot to kick to, though, for the Eagles.
They run into each other, the two big boys.
Jakovic, that's a comedy of errors, but he still has enough time to kick it long towards Kerr. Lappin!
Well, you captured the moment there, Matthew.
Had to be two. Quickly plays on to Ratton, to Whitnell, and the big names for Carlton getting involved here. Whitnell, the short pass on McIntosh. Good spoil. Still alive, though, for Favola. Getting back Cousins. Has he done enough to keep it in? He has. Now he's got some time. It's 8-12 apiece here at Optus. Carlton coming at the West Coast. Williams. Kerr back to Williams. Nowhere to go. Banfield tries to turn Plunkett inside out. He can't. Williams just bangs it on. Good pressure from Carlton. They've lifted. What about that mark by Matthew Lappin? Let's take another look. It's a ripper.
Well, I thought it might have been that you kick a goal, but some brilliance like that can lift your team. And you know Kerr was sitting underneath it. He didn't want to be there on that occasion. Just running then, Lance Whitnell, I thought he might have had a shot on goal getting late in the quarter. You know that you can kick from 50 metres, get back and just take it on yourself as a senior player.
Well, it could be an important few minutes. Ratton, hand pass, intercepted. Plunkett, Josh Wooden, found some space, got the handball out wide. This is Fletcher. Kick forward by Fletcher towards the goal square. A little bit of confusion. I think there was a fist on it. There was. So that is a rush behind to the Eagles. The Eagles have had a sorry record here at Optus Oval. The last couple of times, I think they probably will remember Anthony Kutafiti's wonderful performance here when he took something like 16 marks and had about 43 possessions.
Their last win against Carlton at Optus in 1992, right round 9.
So the umpire said that he has to play on and kick it quickly. If he get it taken off him, he has. Scott Camperelli's had the ball taken off him because the umpire blew the whistle and he hesitated to kick the ball in straight away. Now this could be crucial in a game as tight as this. I was just going to say both ruckmen have come from the ground, probably ready for big onslaughts in the last quarter. Dean Cox and Andrew Merrington.
You wonder sometimes whether umpires just want to do a bit of grandstanding themselves, and well, I guess he gave him enough warning. He was penalised, and from that bounce, a resultant rush behind for the Eagles. So they lead by 2 points, close to the three-quarter time break. And Scott Camperelli might get rid of this ball quickly.
Straight down the line, I'd say, Robbo. Look at this.
And gets a good hit on the football. Punch back towards the middle of the ground. Ratton dispossessed, but he goes back in after it. Oh, look at McKay. He's caught, but he got the hand pass away. Trent Houghton, he's caught. Ball spills for Cox. In goes Wiggins to provide a bit of a contest. Mansfield underneath. He fell over. Oh, he was lucky, Michael Mansfield. falling with the football. Hickbott, Merrington, two of the players warming the bench. One of the others would be McKernan. Gee, there's some work being done in the background there on one of the players. Could be Andrew Merrington. No. Up over the top was Williams, now Houghton. Gee, they've got some space here now. This is Fletcher running, looking, delivering. Who spotted this? Mansfield runs on. Will kick a goal. Yes! The Blues are in front close to three-quarter time. Well, you don't have to do much in a game of footy, do you, to, first of all, cop the wrath of the supporters, but then on the other hand, he kicks 2 goals, and you never know, it might be the 2 goals that are critical in the result.
Well, Robbo, this is a great mark in the context of this game because you don't know what's coming the other way, and every player would have been in that position. Some players have failed in that position, but on that occasion, take your hat off to Michael Mansfield. That was great courage.
Great courage from Michael Mansfield to finish off with his 2nd goal in his 50th game for Carlton, having played 181 for Geelong. But if we talk about the present, he's very happy with the fact that he's put them 4 points in front before three-quarter time. Still 3 minutes remaining.
Those tackles
Fletcher going nowhere.
Sorry, Matthew. Yep. Those tackles at centre bounces, they're so important, aren't they, that the player with the football doesn't get his arms clear to maybe move the ball on.
Carlton have been very good at centre clearances today. Kerr. There's Mansfield, perhaps a bit high, slipped down with the tackle. Gasper, quick hands is good from Fletcher to Judd. The pace of Judd out in front of Matera. Good skill in close and good pace from Judd.
Well, Matty, that was 4th gear. From 1st to 4th in the one step, he just left his opponent in his wake, Chris Judd. That's the, what can we say, the poise and talent that we know this player has got. What he has to do is get involved in the game a lot more. Then the balance. He just balanced up a couple of steps. Big kick from Matera.
He leads in the hard ball gets for West Coast, Chris Judd. You know, he does it on the inside. So Matera to put the Eagles back in front. A quick answer. No problems to Peter Matera. West Coast back in front by 2 points. Peter Matera, his first goal for the afternoon. And as we see, just a quick give by Fletcher there, very good in close.
Well, Davies was chasing, but it was just a 1, 2, 3 step he gave and got 4 metres clear so he could balance. Peter Matera, not a bad move by Johnny Worsfold. You know that he loves to kick a goal. Going to be very quick off the mark. And he's playing on Simon Wiggins, which will be a big test for the young fella.
So Adrian Hickbott, Andrew Merrington, and Francis Leach down on the boundary line has a report for us.
Adrian Hickmont came to the bench. There were a few concerns about his right hand and his fingers, but he seems to be okay now. They had a bit of work done on him, though.
So to restart play with the margin just 2 points. Oh, well done. Terrific work by Cox. Houghton had the football. He robbed him of it. Nearly got clear himself. Travis Gasper it was that took that football away. And desperation on the face of the Eagles follower. Bounce, Houghton and Gasper again. Bradley gets some space, kicks it with the left in the direction of Beaumont. Couldn't take it. Still a contest provided back there by Beaumont. Favola goes in after the football. Now the spillage. No one can really do much with that footy. Very difficult. 68 plays, 66. The Eagles lead by 2 points. And we've just got 1.5 minutes left in the third term. The scene is set for a very, very tight last term. Carlton searching for their 2nd win of the year, and the Eagles trying to stay in touch with the top 4. McKay knocks it forward, only as far as Cousins. Plunkett, important little touch on the football. Now Judd, was he grabbed a little high? Gee, it's tight. Gasper kicked away now for the Eagles by Collinger. Mark taken by Mansfield. Blues have got a chance. Ratton out wide. Handball. Fletcher could have gone short. Goes long and finds Favola. Well, good kick too. Favola had just enough space. McIntosh could see the urgency of the situation, but he couldn't get back in time, and Favola is marked. Camporelli.
Yeah, we can just see Camporelli's been pushed to full forward with Drew Banfield, no doubt a lot quicker than Drew Banfield, so trying to sneak a goal before three-quarter time. Favola, again, another big kick in this game. to put the Blues ahead.
Two points is the margin. So you would think it would either be 1 point at three-quarter time in favour of the Eagles, or maybe the Blues by 4. Gee, it's a good kick by Favola. It's a goal. Favola kicks his first goal in the dying seconds of the third term, and the Blues, after kicking 4 goals in this term to the Eagles 2, have the lead by 4 points close to the three-quarter time break.
Geez, we've called that a bit today, Robbo, haven't we? Ratton to Fletcher, and now Favola on the end of it. He's another player who, in the last quarter, is very important, because we know he kicked 4 goals last week, played probably one of his best games for the season. We know that he can kick goals very quickly. But I like that move of Camporelli, as we can see in Wayne Britton. He thinks he's done enough work at the moment. Now he'll come down to the side, hopefully get a quick message to his players at three-quarter time. Only about 14 or 15 seconds left in this quarter.
13 seconds now. Quick possession needed. Didn't take long for Geelong to do it last week against Carlton. Wooden, he'll need a mark from West Coast. Thornton did enough. Wiggins backs him up, bangs it forward towards the boundary line, and succeeds in his efforts to relieve the pressure. But the Carlton fans here at Optus, they're on their feet. They were trailing by 5 points at half-time, 6 points at quarter-time. They've turned it around in this third quarter. They lead by 4 points. Certainly last week I saw the West Coast headed by Sydney. They were gone for all money. Sydney had all the momentum, led by 12 points. The West Coast came back very hard in that last quarter, kicked 4 in a row.
You'll soon see what home fans can do for a team.
I can just see Chad Fletcher's playing on Ratton now. I don't know whether Ratton would hurt you as much as what Camporelli could in the last quarter to win the game. Maybe change that matchup.
So we're set for a thriller here at Optus. It's getting a little bit dark, but who cares as far as football fans are concerned, because it's a 4-point margin. Here is Miranda. Philip Matera out in front. Big Quentin Leach can't turn around quick enough. But the first centre clearance going to the West Coast Eagles. Peter Matera involved once again. We saw him involved just before three-quarter time. He's lining up on Hickmott in the middle.
The coach spoke to him for quite a while at that break too, Matthew.
Wants something out of his champion veteran. Merrington back on the ground after a spell during that third quarter.
I think we might have seen just an area where Quentin Lynch might have to work on was his turning circle. It looked like the Queen Mary there for a while, Robbo, once the ball went past him. But he's a youngster and he's shown a little bit today.
Will the trend continue? Will West Coast get off to a good start?
There he is.
There is Big Quentin. Kicked it out on the full.
Well, the good thing, he was up against Merrington then, who had a great third quarter, and he just pushed him out of the way, so he's got something to work with.
Ratton not allowed to go laterally. It's got to come back. Sometimes you just see this go straight back to the same player, because he's got to give it to Doring, though, so that is the umpire's decision. West Coast have been able to man up one-on-one.
Good stats by Doring, 15 posies.
Wants Merrington, gets him.
I've been impressed with this kid.
He's been very, very good in all facets of the game. He's been well-rounded this afternoon. He goes to Hickmott. Carlton only play 4 games at Optus Oval this season. They play Port Adelaide here later in the year. They're yet to win here. They would dearly love to give their fans something.
Matthew Lappin, there was a bloke in a lot of trouble in the World Cup, wasn't there, for doing one of those swallow dives
last week.
I think it was one of the Italian players.
Yeah. Rivaldo from Brazil.
And Brazil wasn't. Well, Matthew Lappin's done it. I can remember last week he got that kick and 50-metre penalty against Geelong, and the Geelong fans were absolutely astounded. And he tried it again there, umpire just ignoring it.
It only cost Rivaldo 15,000 too. I don't know whether Matty Lappin's on 15,000 a game, but I wouldn't be taking too many dives.
72 plays 68. The Blues lead.
Oh, free kick.
Free kick and predicted there by our special comments man Tony Shaw, and it will go to Gasper.
Well, just dragged off the ball at the contest. You can't take him out of the play.
Gasper for the Eagles, spots a player downfield. It was Fletcher. It went past him for Miranda. Still Miranda, who went out of bounds with the football. The boundary umpire right on the scene. Fletcher and Miranda, just a bit of misunderstanding there. I thought Fletcher may have just erred a little. I'm sure the hand pass was meant for him and he let it go. and it rebounded for Miranda to take it over for a boundary throw in. Forward of centre wing, favouring the West Coast Eagles. The Blues going to the Robert Heatley stand end. Kerr dispossessed. Chance here for Fletcher. He's attacked by Judd. Ball spills to Camperelli. Camperelli towards the half-forward area. For Vola, it goes past he and McIntosh and spills over. Johnny Anea gathers the ball, doing a Robert Domenico there on the boundary line, and it'll be thrown in once again. Favola on screen. Blues lead by 4 points, and there's 17 3/4 minutes left. Ratton gathers, kicks it forward for the Blues.
Important start to this quarter. No side can really get going. Bradley falls to Josh Wooden. Now West Coast go forward. Philip Matera in front, takes a good mark. Franchina's been with him all day. Lynch on a long lead. Does well, traps it back inboard to Rowan Jones. Haven't seen a lot of Rowan Jones this afternoon. He's been doing a good defensive job though. Lynch, round the body. Oh, Carlton though, McKay. Off he goes. He's got a paddock to run into. Could have run another 40 metres, but he spots Bradley. Falls for Craig. Wooden right with him. They want the free kick, the Carlton fans. Josh Wooden does an excellent job. Bradley could have got clear then. Good pace from Wooden to get to the contest.
I don't know, Robbo. I don't know whether Craig could have made the distance on the kick. Doesn't look like it there, but I thought he should have gone for the mark instead of waiting and hesitating. Maybe think the ball was going to run in front of him.
I think you read that beautifully, Tony, and the ageing legs just not looking after Craig Bradley on that occasion. Lappin and Hickmott knocked away into the path of Lappin. It may have come from Whitnall. The kick into its foot four has been taken by Beaumont. Good hands. Do you wonder, don't you, that you know, the fact that they're not really tall in the defensive six, they've had to persevere with Simon Beaumont in the defensive half of the ground, but he certainly gives you some chance up on the forward line. He battled hard there, didn't he, to get the front posse and take the mark.
Well, you've lost Corey McKernan early, so he probably had to go there, but he does give you a contest.
Well, he kicks for goal, and I think he's put it through. His third goal, Simon Beaumont. A fair return for a tall forward. 3 goals in a total score of 11, and now the Blues hold a 10-point advantage.
Fantastic couple of knocks there from Lance Whitnall, wasn't it?
Oh, Lance Whitnall, he hasn't had a great game, Lance, but again, he's set up the play a couple of times, given his teammates shots on goal. But Beaumont, yep, he's the one out of left field for Carlton. Britton might like him in the forward line because of his defensive work also.
Simon Beaumont with 3 goals. Carlton with a 10-point break. Merrington wanted Bradley, wasn't quite ready for it. Ratton was. Away goes the Carlton skipper. Ratton drives it out in front of Mansfield. Can he make a hero of himself? The crowd adore him here, Robbo.
Well, it's amazing. As I said, I think it was in the 3rd term. You don't have to do much. I mean, if you don't get the ball, they'll certainly give you the jeers. And when you do get the ball, there's plenty of cheers.
Well, one thing about that, Mickey Mansfield on Drew Banfield. Mickey Mansfield can mark over his head. Drew Banfield can't jump, so it's a good matchup for Carlton. And Mick Mansfield, again, he's got his problems in his games and might be coming to the end of his career, but he will compete.
He hadn't kicked a goal before today. He's lining up for his 3rd to put Carlton out to a 16-point break. Is he a hero or a villain? One arm signals perhaps a villain.
I know what he tried to con the goal umpire.
Well, wouldn't you? Just over 16,350 people here to watch. Perhaps. Long way to go yet. But perhaps a win for Carlton as Ange Christo looks on.
Well, I think he's aware that there's still plenty of football to be played. Ashley McIntosh to kick it in for the Eagles. Goes out wide. Mark has been taken by Jones. Looks to play on. What was he called? No. You can see there the defensive 50-metre arc. So he will kick from just outside that. No one to kick to, so he's going to have to kick to a contest on centre wing. Whitnall over the top, Thornton. Whitnall's got a crook shoulder by the look of that, Tony.
Yeah, whether he just got hit in that contest then or he had it before that play. Again, he's been quiet, but gee, just some smart tap-ons, as Matty said before.
Well, if you're not going to dominate, the coach asks for you to do the 1%ers, doesn't he?
Well, the umpire's down. He's been hit by a player.
Jones, Thornton caught with the football. Good tackle front on. It may have come from... there's Justin Murphy and Matthew Allen. Murphy omitted from the team. Allen, long-term injury list. Jones kicks the ball forward for the Eagles in towards half-forward. It falls at the feet there of the big fellow Lynch and bundles end on end over from the 50-metre line. Here's the umpire going down.
Well, he's up there. Oh, that's the old trick. That's the old Three Stooges trick, isn't it? Go down on the knees behind the umpire and push him over.
Well done.
Curly Mo would love that.
Yes, as Plunkett bangs it forward. Whitnell, again, just trying to advantage his team with the palm of the hand.
I think someone's going to make a lot out of that replay.
Important time of the game now. 14 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for the West Coast Eagles, but they must get some action happening inside their forward 50. 11 points. Hasn't been more than a kick at every change between the two sides.
Free kick.
Free kick. Advantage will be paid. Wooden to the run of Chad Fletcher. Fletcher's got a player on the lead, and it's Big Lynch.
Jeez.
Get out of my way, said Quinton Lynch. And an opportunity to kick his second goal for the afternoon.
Well, it's free kick and advantage paid. Good decision by the umpire. Free kick to Ben Cousins, but I just wonder whether you could play Troy Wilson and Big Lynch on the forward line together. Be a bit scary standing in that vacant spot in front of him. But that's a good leap and a good mark.
So kick from about 40 metres. His first goal was a beauty. His second one is very important for his team if he kicks it. Drop punt looks okay off the boot. He's got it. They won't give in, this West Coast side. Under John Worsfold, they really have shown a lot of grit and determination so far this season. And they're back to within a margin of just 5 points.
Well, this is where the advantage rule plays too. Fletcher, who's had the job on Ratton all day, that's why you don't have to kick the ball hard to a leading forward. Just gave it enough height to get over the man in between and put it out in front of your teammate. And that is a massive kick also from Quinton Lynch.
Well, how does a brick outhouse find room on an interchange bench?
Well, I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. The boys just kicked the goal. You'd be thinking you'd be high. You want to win this game for your team.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, they put McIntosh to fall forward.
Oh.
Plunkett, centre clearance. Gee, they've had a few of them, the Blues. The kick off the side of the boot of Jimmy Plunkett. Mansfield, Whitnell, got that. Was it a hand pass? I thought it was a throw, yes. Umpire very much on the scene. Whitnell penalised. Free kick to Jakovic. He's got a crook shoulder, there's no doubt about that. His right arm just hanging limply.
Robbo, I don't know, but I can't see any sense in that move. I just don't know Ashley McIntosh has kicked a goal. He might prove me wrong in this last quarter, but gee, Quinton Lynch has just kicked a good goal and be up. His confidence will be up. You think you just keep playing it.
Ashley McIntosh hasn't scored this season.
Well, why would you do it? It just weakens your defence, where he's done a good job in defence.
Well, I might be wrong. Top mark taken in the middle of the ground. That was by Hunter. Now the Eagles all the way up to their half-forward line. We'll soon see, because McIntosh is right into it straight away. He's on the left. He lobs it high in towards the full forward line. Punched away. Good punch. Livingston can't gather the ball. Peter Matera gathers, dragged off the ball, playing for the free kick. And the umpire completely ignoring his bewildering look and allows it to be thrown in. About 40 metres, 45 metres around from the Eagles' goal. Ruckman to contest. Merrington. Ball comes to the front. During. Close to the line. Gets the hand pass away. Absolutely clean bowls Camperelli. He's got a chance to get back onto it. And he spills over with the football. And if that's disguised as out of bounds, that's the best I've seen. Well done, Scott Camperelli. Boundary umpire to throw it in. 50 metres from the Eagles' goal. Margin, 5 points in favour of the Blues.
Merrington's got to beat Gasper, he can't. Here's McIntosh with a good shepherd. Releases Judd, likes to kick a goal, steps inside. Has he got enough on it? No. He has, but not the accuracy that he was looking for. Just the behind. So, mentioned that West Coast needed to start surging forward. They're doing so now. 4 points. Carlton, who perhaps aren't used to winning this season, the question will be asked of them. They will get a tad nervous getting down towards the latter stages of this final quarter. Camperelli, possession number 28. Thornton, let's make it 29.
Played that well.
Out to McKay. No one's coming to him, so he can keep running. He's told to by Whitnell. Pretty open forward line. He wants Favola.
Well done, Matt.
Well played, Carlton.
Just the whole succession. They did it like a little chess piece, didn't they? Darting here and darting there, and eventually the ball finishing with Favola, and he'd be a chance to kick a goal from here.
It was a terrific kick, but I think what Robbo there, we had players with experience, such as McKay and Camporelli, players with patience. Just didn't kick to a contest. So, can Brendan Favola, who kicked a goal, a very good goal from a set shot in the third quarter, finish the game well last week?
I just asked the question, would Ashley McIntosh have been playing on him in that marking contest?
Jones and Hickmont doing some post work from right on 50. Certainly got the distance as we knew he would, but just off to the left. So behind to Brendan Favola. Margin once again 5 points.
With his history at Carlton, Brendan Favola, we know he's got plenty of ability, but he's kicked a lot of behinds. He's had a lot of shots at goal, and he's not a really big converter. Whether he gets shots from outside 40 and in his endeavours to get the distance, he suffers from inaccuracy, but he gets a lot of shots at goal.
Well, Johnny Worsfold might have forced a change with Carlton because Beaumont, who's kicked 3 for the Blues, has gone down the full back to play on Ashley McIntosh.
Kick in, the ball spills. Camporelli found a bit of space, got it off to Plunkett. Left foot kick, he scragged as he went to kick the ball. Mansfield dispossessed, Plunkett in after. Jones was the Eagles player. Kerr bundled over the boundary line. And Hickmott has plenty to say to Daniel Kerr. You can do that when you're in front, but they don't enjoy a defensible lead at this stage. Well done there by Jones to run down Plunkett. And he went in after it again with Plunkett. And we forced a boundary throw in. The kick goes forward. Whitnell in trouble. Favola, skillfully, Whitnell's on the end of it. Whitnell will kick a goal for the Blues. Second goal to Lance Whitnell, but I tell you what, there was a bloke there with some footy smarts, Brendan Favola. He trapped the ball and got it back. Watch this.
Well, the problem there was Glass went in and Jakovic went for the ball, and that meant his man Whitnell never went to ground, and gee, I don't know whether that's a good thing to do to an opposition player when you're only a goal and a half ahead.
I agree.
And it's still halfway during the last quarter. Give him the finger.
They have a tendency to get a bit carried away when they do have the lead, the Blues, historically. They hold the lead now.
Lance Whitnell just exercising that damaged right shoulder just before he kicked that goal, just to make sure it was all in full working order. McIntosh, that move has not worked for Worsfold.
I can't believe that.
He's moving back. Still plenty of time for the Eagles. 11 points. Ratton getting it forward off the ground. 2-on-1 here for Carlton. Glass, great running from Cousins to come and help out. And terrific handball. Wooden, Kerr's run for him. Cousins may get it back. Terrific running from the skipper. Kerr runs into a bit of bother from 50, launches to the goal square, but it should suit Carlton. They've got 2-on-1 there. Thornton couldn't get it. The dangerous David Wirapunda, was he held? No. Good decision. Will be a ball in.
Gee, Andrew Mackay's done a great job on David Wirapunda. A very dangerous player.
Only managed the one behind. Go down to the boundary, Francis Leach.
Travis Gasper's come to the bench for the West Coast. He has some problems with his right ankle.
So down on numbers. Some of the big men off the ground today. McKernan for Carlton, Gasper for the West Coast Eagles.
Smart kick by Beaumont. Gathered about 40 metres and found the boundary line.
That's a big loss with Gasper, because it looks like Cox and Merrington are going up and down the one spot. A good player like Gasper maybe going in the ruck fresh would have helped the West Coast Eagles.
Lynch looked as though he was going to get another run. Cox and Merrington. Cox has attempted left footer, couldn't clear the congestion. Hickmott out wide. Camporelli gathers. He's well tackled by Matera. Peter. Fletcher in over the top. Went Wiggins. Umpire can do nothing more than bounce, with the scoreboard showing the Blues lead the game by 11 points, 12-14 to 10-15. And we're close now to the time on period. We've played 17.5 minutes of the quarter. 9 3/4 minutes left. Doering gets his left foot to it, kicks it out wide. Marcus, well taken by Mansfield. Hey, gee whiz, he's done a good job, hasn't he? He's fought back after being fairly quiet. Short kick is okay. Hickmott, deputy vice captain of the Blues, and he leads very, very grandly, does Adrian Hickmott. Lappin provides the lead, he honours that, and Lappin has gathered the ball. too far out to score. 2 kicks from goal. Matthew Lappin yet to kick a goal. Goes into the pocket. Favola was the leading player. And the umpire, has he seen a free kick? No.
Oh, yes. Favola.
It's a free kick to Favola. Jakovic off the ground for the Eagles. And Favola will take the free kick. Very, very much within scoring range. Only 30 metres, maybe a little longer. What's happened here? Holding the arm off.
On the replay, there was very soft free kick. A very soft free kick. Just then, Quinton Lynch has come back on the ground. As I said, I don't know why he was taken off after he kicked that goal in the last quarter.
We're watching Brendan Favola. Adam Hunter, the infringing player for the Eagles. The kick is offline. And to back up my stats, he's kicked 1 goal, 4. So 5 shots at goal. Just 1 major against the name of Brendan Favola. Leading goal kicker for the Blues, Simon Beaumont with 3. Equal leading goal kickers for the Eagles, 2 to Williams and 2 to Lynch.
12-15, 10-15. Jones. Under 9 minutes remaining. Soon, the clock will be very important if West Coast are to pinch this game. Embley went over the top. Ratton at ground level. Bradley, has he kept it in? Yes. Won't go 15. Well, it didn't. And the crowd tells the story there.
Gee, wasn't Ratton good there?
You don't need a measuring tape. Cousins.
Seeing Cox here.
High ball. Cox. Merrington in front. Spoken about his game at length. The switch. Whitnell. That shoulder's working a little bit better.
Loose man in defence now, Matty, so they're trying to close up shop.
Wins have been hard to come by. They almost stole one last week against Geelong. McKay, beautiful drop home. Classic kick to the advantage of Beaumont.
Could hang on to it for a second or 3 here, couldn't he?
There's the loose man.
Oh, dear. You a bit worried there, Matthew?
No, I just thought...
The quavering voice?
I just thought that Philip Matera is one of the best in the competition at pickpocketing.
There's either that or the belt tighten, Robert.
With 7.5 minutes left, you just don't go to this mode of play, I don't think.
No, I agree, Robbo. West Coast will get a sniff here if they keep doing this. Hickmott, been outstanding in the second half. Plunkett bangs it forward. Favola's there. It goes past everybody. Colliker got enough on Matthew Lappin. He's a sensible player, Michael Colliker, and he runs it through for a rush behind, and it's now 13 points.
It's an important point. You know, 3 shots on goal now. But geez, some of the moves of Johnny Worsfold, I just don't know. Probably thinking Ashley McIntosh and Glenn Jakovic both had stints at full forward. Jakovic is off the ground. We can see Ashley McIntosh kicking in now. Maybe they thought they weren't going to kick a big enough score and someone else had to try and do it.
Well, only 22 goals kicked in this game so far. The Blues lead by 13 points. Big kick by McIntosh to the middle of the ground. Spillage gathered by Cousins. Gathers beautifully and then kicks towards half forward. Very well done. Mark is taken by Haynes. Haven't seen enough of this young fella kick the ball, so not quite sure whether he can get the distance, but I'm sure he'll give it a real good chance. He's 50 metres from goal, and there is the picture for David Haynes. He's already kicked 1. Matthew Campbell tipping that he might get his second. No, he hooks the kick to the front of the goal square. No mark taken. Ball gathered by Jones, gives away a little bit of ground, back to Peter Matera. Left foot snapshot at goal will be marked. No, McKay couldn't quite control it. And it spills through for another behind to the West Coast Eagles. Scoreline, they're getting the ball all the way in there, but they've had 6 rush behinds. Peter Sumich off to the left there of Johnny Worsfold. Great player for the West Coast Eagles when they were successful in the early to mid-90s.
And Robbo, Carlton just pushed ahead in the contested possessions. You can see Ratton and Hickmott have been very good in this last quarter.
Beaumont switches to Wiggins.
Clock ticking down, Matthew, 6 minutes left.
And he'll switch to During. He's got Thornton. Youngsters again looking to combine. But no, decides against Thornton. Embley's closed him down. During might have closed himself down. Interesting kick. 2 on 1. Haynes wants to keep it in. Beaumont, he wanted to get it out. So, just a little bit, Tony, the signs of a little bit of panic.
I'm just saying, then young Haynes, when the ball went towards the boundary line, he had to back off and make Beaumont either keep the ball in. If he tapped it over, it would have been a free kick for intentional, just a bit of inexperience.
We're a pundit.
Still time in this game, though, for the West Coast, but again, I think Johnny Worsfold's identified it. Who's going to kick their score from?
Simon Beaumont jogging back, his wife in the middle there, just turning to the side to have a chat. She'd be pretty pleased with his 3 goals, but wants him to do well down back at the moment. The fiancé, I believe.
I don't think she was even watching the football then, Matty.
No, she was just making a comment about the fact that how he had to beat 2 West Coast defenders near the boundary line, and how perhaps Haynes should have backed off and showed a little bit of inexperience.
Yes. Well, a struggle for the Eagles, isn't it? Bradley prepared to let the ball just trundle over for another throw-in, and precious seconds ticking away. The Blues enjoy a 12-point advantage. Plenty of time for 2 goals to be kicked, but also an opportunity for the Blues. They must get back in a positive mode. They've got to go forward and kick a goal, because Peter Matera will make it a goal the margin. He does. He kicks it beautifully. Peter Matera, a couple of goals, and now all of a sudden the margin within 1 kick.
Well, we said that Lance Whitten will set up a few goals for Carlton. Have a look at this ruck contest if we can see it. It was just brilliant play by Big Cox, I think it was on this occasion. Tapped the ball over the back. Peter Matera in traffic. Well, that is vintage Matera, isn't it? We know he can do it. He's coming to the end of his career, maybe another year of football. But that was fantastic. And it means if you kick a goal for the West Coast Eagles, you come off the ground, Robbo.
And the trend continues for the Eagles. The 3rd player to kick a goal, and you come off.
They can't win because no one else will want to kick a goal for the end of the quarter.
They can win 96 points down. 5 minutes remaining.
If they use that philosophy, I mean, man.
Oh dear, we're in for a thriller. Merrington. Lappin, good spoil, came from Colliker. Punched forward though by Plunkett. Over the top of Cousins. Goes back in again. Beats the tackle, does well, does brilliantly. Gets the applause from Tony Shaw. Kerr got it to Colliker. West Coast again. Going back. Good mark. Thornton used his body well. Got rid of Embley. Held his ground and then went back, and he had a couple of people coming from behind. He's kicked at the Franchina. 6 points, Carlton lead. Bradley, right with him, Josh Wooden. Can Philip Matera keep it in? No.
It's a game of centimetres, isn't it? If that ball stays in, Philip Matera's away.
Now, 4 odd minutes to go. The greatest rule that's been brought in this year, and the interpretation is getting them to kick the ball quickly, because they could close up shop with 2 minutes to play, but they can't do it anymore, Robbo. It just allows the opposition side a chance.
No, well, they might get a little bit of stage fright too, the Blues. There's a game there to be won, and can they win it? Banfield and Mansfield push out against Mansfield. Free kick to Banfield. He will get the Eagles to within scoring range. And even the Blues fans are getting a little bit worried. Close to full time. They lead the game by 6 points. And that was a bit of an iffy free kick in a game of football. It's pretty tight. But Banfield got it. He kicks the ball to half forward. Marking contest. It is a mark. Taken by Hunter. And he's within scoring range directly in front. He can level the scores with this kick. 3.5 minutes left.
Haynes and Hunter have had an influence. They've been very good players, but I don't know, Matty, do you think he wants to kick this?
Well, we haven't seen him kick a lot of goals, but Worsfold's gone for the youngsters, hasn't he? We've got Wirapunda, Matera and Jakovic on the bench. He's gone for the young guys to do it.
Well, this is Adam Hunter. He's already kicked 1 goal. He goes long, and he will kick a goal! Scores a level with 3.5 minutes left. Adam Hunter gets his 2nd goal, and the looks on the faces of the coaching staff for the Blues tells it all. Good mark and a very good conversion by Adam Hunter.
Surely he has to come off now. He's kicked a goal.
One player who is Favola for Carlton has come off the ground. But maybe they shut up shop too early, Carlton. They had a loose man in defence in Whitnell.
So for the 2nd week in a row, the West Coast Eagles have come from 12 points down during the last quarter. They went on with it last week against Sydney. Huge pack forming inside their forward 50. Fletcher finds himself in a bit of trouble. Hickmott with a bit of space. Players to kick to. Ratton comes into the hole. Hunter arrives late. Ratton's got it. We're inside 3 minutes. Goes long. Lappin backs back. Wants the free kick from Collicutt. Not going to get it. Now the Eagles transfer to the outer side. Cox. Haynes has come from a long way. That is a long lead. That was from inside the forward 50. Little chip over the top. Good mark, Embley. West Coast starting to get some contested marks and possessions. Embley. Long ball inside the forward 50. Philip Matera with him, Franchina. Ball still alive. Carlton have a couple of numbers back. Wiggins. Down there is Andy McKay. That'll be a ball up.
You know, up the other end of the ground, that contest provided by Matthew Lappin is going to bite them on the bum.
Wasn't good enough.
It wasn't, Tony?
You just have to hold your own, hopefully bring the ball to ground and not fake a free kick.
They got the ball and carried it all the way down the other end of the ground. Now their defence is under pressure. Chance here for McKay. Can't break away. Hickmott close to the boundary line. Beaumont takes it over.
Intentional. Umpire Goldsmith said that he dived over the line instead of keeping the ball alive. That is a big decision. Very courageous.
Well, of all the controversial decisions I've seen in football since he's been an umpire, Darren Goldspink figures very prominently.
I think this is his first game back this year.
Well, I'm not saying it was a decision that needed to be paid against Simon Beaumont, but it's going to cost the Blues because you're just about guaranteed that Miranda would kick a score. He has. He has kicked it behind. The Eagles lead by 1 point. And look at the anguish on the faces there of the Blues supporters. We'll watch again. McKay, Hickmott and Beaumont. He's close to the line. What else could he do? Yeah. Well, the Blues have got a chance. They're at half forward. Campbell, Beaumont pumps it to within 50 metres. They've got to get a possession here. Lappett's a chance. He's dispossessed. Well done, Cousins. Brilliant, tough footy. And he kicks it back for the Eagles. Mark taken by Thornton. Now the urgency on the faces of the Blues. Camberelli over the top. Bradley with a minute to go. Bradley, can they take a mark on the forward line? They can't. They've got possession of the ball. It's hot and he can't break away. Eagles lead by a point. Down inside a minute left in the game.
Well, Ben Cousins last quarter, if they were to get over the line, you could thank the inspirational skipper at this stage. That was magnificent contest on half-back line.
Dare I say it, but 3 times this season we've already seen the game decided after the siren. Is this going to be the 4th? Ball falls free. First to get there for the Eagles, Cousins once again. Going over the top pretty solidly was Fletcher. Was that deliberate?
What could have happened, though, Ben Cousins was going to handball over the boundary line and Ratton stopped him from doing it. It wasn't his fault. He was just trying to contest the ball.
Ball's back in. We're inside 40 seconds to go. Carlton just need a clean possession. They're not going to get it. Play on. Miranda, dispossessed. Beaumont, quick hands. Whitnell's closed down by McIntosh. Pack forming inside 30 seconds.
McIntosh going back has been very important for them now in this tight finish.
Well, I didn't think he should have been forward, but look, they're back in the game. 1 point ahead, so you'd say Johnny Worsfold, you might think that those moves worked in this last quarter.
26 seconds. There's a figure that might come back to haunt Carlton. Perhaps West Coast this week. Plenty of players around the ball. The punch comes out. Backing off it was Banfield. Mansfield trying to keep it alive. West Coast have it. Cousins. Glass over the boundary line. 7 seconds remaining. West Coast are going to hold on. West Coast are going to win by a point. 1 second remaining. West Coast to win their first game in Melbourne via a decision on the boundary line. There it is. The Eagles, 7-5, have defeated Carlton in another comeback. 2 in 2 weeks to the West Coast Eagles. Nothing going right for Carlton. Scott Camberelli cannot believe it. It's happened once again. They have gone down by a kick, or less than a kick, for the 2nd week in a row.
After what happened here in the last game last year, just keep an eye on the umpire.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was in a tight game. Whether the decision was right is questionable.